All right, it's take 2026 here at Cabin Fever Crochet. I'm Helene, and today feeling a little bit like a golden retriever and just really happy to be here. Because it's been a while again, and there's some reasons behind that and why I came on today, and to let you know that I am really not a flake when I tell you that I have tutorial ready to go, and that's going to come up next time you see me. Those are my intentions, and I always have the best of intentions with everything I do. But life, things come up, things happen, and sometimes they keep coming and they keep coming, they keep coming. And so I'm not sure when I will be able to do tutorials again. Hopefully soon, because I have something in the mail coming that's going to help me with the issue I'm having with the blue light on my phone that I'm filming on and my computer, and I'll get into that in a minute. I've still been able to crochet some, and so I have several new designs that I have, and some I really want to get to that are seasonal. But we still have a couple months of really cold weather left, at least in this region. And I'm in northeastern Washington State, and I have some things to show you too. I've got a finished project, and almost finished, and some really pretty yarn over there. And so I'm not quite sure, like I said, about the tutorials, but I do think, and I'll see how this goes when I go to upload this chat today, because that's really easy. It doesn't take much editing, and I'm probably not going to do much, with this one either, just to minimize the screen time so I don't re-trigger this existing migraine. But I'm thinking if this goes well, then I have couple few reviews that I would like to do of various things. So items that might be of interest to you, and it's fun for me. I really enjoy doing that. And I'm not going to get into this personal stuff too deep because I don't want to bore you with that, and I want to keep my channel mostly about creative expressions, crochet, maybe a little sprinkle of knitting here and there, fiber related stuff, and other artsy things, and maybe a little tour of this or a scenic drive or other slices of life along the way, just like it says in my description. Oh, speaking of related mentions, I will be in the drop down description section as well. I have links for everything there. All right, so I have been getting, like I noticed about 1.5 years ago, and a friend of mine even said, maybe it's the computer, because when I'm getting on and doing editing, and there's hours upon hours of editing a tutorial, and then if I write up a pattern, there's hours and hours of typing that up and revising that and rereading it and retesting it and any little corrections, and hope that I got them all, and taking photos and editing those and uploading, and then uploading them into my Etsy shop and all the specs on that. And it's just a lot. And every time I would do these in blocks of time, I would start feeling real weird, like woozy weird in my head. Not vertigo, because I've had that before, but just weird, different, and eye strain. And then my head would start hurting and this piercing, and then it would spread into this vice-like grip thing and turn into a full-on migraine, all-encompassing. And migraines, the classic, typical ones I get, and then plus the food allergy-related ones, and then now these, and they will last several days, 2 at the least. 3, 4, and then it's a whole process after that of the recovery and the detoxing from all those meds, and there's just so much time my days of my life lost to that. And I just thought, oh no, this has just been too much. And this has been going on now. Like it started, I said, about a year and a half ago, but it wasn't all the time. But I had this eye event in early December, thinking around the 5th. I had a vitreous separation in my right eye. Now I had that in my left eye about 2.5 years ago, and that wasn't as pronounced, and it resolved pretty quickly within 2 or 3 weeks. So this is now over 6 weeks, and it's getting a little, I can tell the symptoms is getting a little better, but it has made my eyes all that much more sensitive, more than what they already were. It just came on suddenly. I had this kind of pain in my eyes, and then I could tell I had got these flashes started, and then all of a sudden this new floater. I already have some floaters, some like amoebas, globs and blobs floating, but they were more manageable, I suppose. But this one was big, and it's like a C shape, and it was dark on the edge and would move into my central vision, so I wasn't able to really drive for a few weeks there. And when it would move into my vision would get blurry. I mean, I'd really have to get up to the computer to see, so that didn't help at all. And if you don't know about the vitreous, that's the gel in the eye, and when we're developing through puberty, from birth through puberty, it is there to lubricate and nourish the eye as it's continuing to develop. And when that's all complete, then the job is done, and it starts to, my understanding, may not be 100% on this, is that it starts to shrink. And then with age, at some point, it detaches and from the retina, and then vast majority, overwhelming majority of the time, there's not an issue. It just has to finish this process, and it's just a royal pain in the patootie. And it's disruptive, can be. Some people may not even notice it, but my eyes are sensitive anyway. My brain is. I mean, I notice detailed things, and that's what if you've been around here any length of time, you've probably gotten that I'm a pretty detail-oriented person anyway. But I did go see a retina specialist, and everything was fine with that, because in rare cases it can do like a tear on the retina as it's separating, and so definitely don't want that, because that can, anything involving the retina, you get in like emergency, you go in. So that looks good there. But it's just an annoyance, and being that my eyes have now become even more sensitive ever since then, if I'm on the computer, phone, for more than 10 minutes at a time, and then with big breaks, hours in between, and especially at night, that headache starts, and it's been awful. So I thought at first, could it be another food allergy? And so I went through all this time doing the process of elimination, starting from scratch, eating really plain, and reintroducing one thing at a time. And I've been tracking what I'm doing and the time of day and what I'm eating and what the symptoms are. And I suspected it a few weeks ago, but as of last night, yeah, I'm like 99 sure that it is the computer screen. So I do see my doctor again on the 30th, eye doctor, ophthalmologist, for another check. And the flashes, what the flashes are, is as it's separating, detaching the vitreous gel, it's letting more light in. And maybe that's why they're more sensitive. And now I can handle these LED lights now that we're forced to use. It's getting a bit bright sitting here just now, so I'm trying to keep this as short as possible because I'm starting to feel a little bit. I start feeling this little achy in my left eye, which is interesting because is in my right eye, but sometimes you get referred pain, referred symptoms on the opposite side. But the thing is, the eyes do work together anyway, in tandem, so that doesn't surprise me. I'm gonna have to really be careful. What I did though is I just know that there are screens, and my husband thankfully reminded me, sometimes, you know, when you're in pain or just is so overwhelmed with whatever's going on, it's hard to think beyond that. So he reminded me that, you know, they make those screens for that. And even though my glasses have that blue light protection in them, obviously it's not enough. So I went online just a little bit earlier and limited time, and I just typed in different keywords specific to my devices, and I'm sure they make them for all, and it's called AccuShield. Link for that will be below, again with all my other mentions here, makes and stuff. So I ordered one for my computer and for my phone, and there are a few different brands. I went with this one, and they're designed by eye doctors, and they have almost like a solid 5-star rating of tons and tons and tons of reviews, and I read a few. I had to keep it limited. They have a really good, I think it's 100-day money back. I think it's a money back guarantee, 100 days on that, a little over 3 months. So you can really test it out, which is good because I'm going to have to do this in baby steps. It helps with eye strain, and especially if you're on the computer at night, that can disrupt the rhythm of your sleep. And I've noticed that if I'm on the computer, it's hard for me to fall asleep and stay asleep. I'm still like thinking. Hopefully this will resolve soon. It's kind of driving me nuts here, but as long as I can get these migraines under control, then I can work around everything else. I mentioned one of my previous videos that I am on a mission, and I'm back to it, determined. I am going through every single drawer, cabinet, closet, everything in every room in the house, and moving on what we don't want, need, or use anymore. And it is time, past time. It just has to be. It's going to free up and clear out excess clutter in my mind and help those creative juices and just free up so much time once I get that done. And especially, you know, if things are happening in life, whatever it is, whether you're not feeling well, you're taking care of someone else, something else. So we have pets, that kind of thing too. And I've been taking Ruby, our youngest, who's gonna be 2, our puppers. She'll be 2 next month. I've been doing a series of obedience and training classes, and we did a trick class. That was so fun. The last one was the week of this thing, so I was not feeling so great, but I went, and I was not going to miss that for anything. You know, hubby's been driving me a lot, and I'm okay now during the day. That's fine, because like I said, it's less of the flashing. So I know that unless I don't see that big floater glob nearly as much. Every just once in a while, if I have my eyes really sharply, which I don't do very often, like I'm looking in the mirror for something, but that is starting to get out of even my peripheral, which is great. So those are all good signs on that resolving there. But we went to the trick class, finished that up, and she earned her AKC certified novice ribbon. So that was so fun and so cute. And it gave us some great activities to do in the house in the winter time, because it is so mentally stimulating and engaging, and she loves the physicality of it. And she knows like 14 and working on 15 different tricks now. And maybe if you're interested, might be a sideline, the other slices of life thing. I might do that sometime and film it and show you some of it. Maybe when the weather gets warmer, I can set it up outside. It's probably easier. And while I was going through things, I found this project. I forgot all about it. I must have started this hat 2 years ago. That's exciting to have an almost finished new hat to wear. Excuse me again. And this is my Daydreams slouchy hat, but you can also make it a hat with a cuff at the bottom. And check it out. All I have is this little finishing bit, maybe a slip stitch round, and then cinch it closed, sew in the hole. And the link, of course, will be below for that. It's a little bit longer, but it's worked from the bottom up. I tried something different for the band on the bottom here, just for a little more ear warmth and coverage. And all I did, it's the same number, same stitch count. I just did front post, back post, alternating of half double crochet all the way around, and then went right into the pattern the same way. And this is worked in a knit crate yarn. And this is a baby alpaca and organic cotton blend. Oh, it's so soft. I'm doing this to hopefully give you a background. Now that I lost the lighting, it was, still a little bit daylight when I started, but I don't know if you can see that chain knit construction. Oh, but I love it. I love the construction, how it works up. And I do have, if you've ever seen me wear that apricot one, I have one similar in that. So I knew it worked up well with this. And because the way that the chainette construction gives this texture and a little bit of extra thickness, and it bounce and it lofts up, it closes the spaces in between the stitches just a bit more to give it more warmth. But you can always go down a hook size if you want them closer together, and just add whatever, I don't remember the multiple because it's been a little while, the multiple of the beginning stitch. You can just add however many more that is, make it a little bit wider to fit your head, that's all. All right, so that's that one. So that was a happy discovery to uncover. And then I'll show you this last because that involves me standing up. Ooh, it's getting cold back here. Oh my goodness. Oh, I did buy another yarn probably about a month ago now. It's been sitting here. And no, I am not going to refill everything that I clear out. No, I want to get everything down to a more manageable size. And tastes change, and my ability to work with different weights have changed from each end of the spectrum, the real thin and slippery stuff to the real super bulky dense. I still work with some of the thin, and I found a different hook that helps with more control, which will be part of one of my reviews, and that is helped, but I'm not going to work with it as much as I used to, and especially now that I'm not doing the farmer's market anymore. And again, I might go back a couple times or so. This year I'll just have to see, but it's not going to be a regular thing by any means anymore. So I did buy this because I have a specific project in mind, and it is a knit project. It's a knit shawl. So for those of you who've been thinking about or want to get into it or just give it a try, two very beginner friendly. One is by Fiberflux, and the other, I cannot think of her. Snuffle Bean, it might be, but I'll find that and I'll leave the links below. And they Jennifer Fiberflux did use the original mandala in a different colorway, and that turned out really pretty, and I would like to make that too. And the colors just look beautiful as they go up, and it's very easy. And it's one of those you just work on and put down little at a time, no pressure. And just for me, when it gets done, it gets done. And it's an easy stitch to remember if you set it down a little bit. And the tutorials are shorter because of that, so easy to go back to and refresh if you need to as well. And I think I'm going to start with this one first, since we are, a couple months. We'll be leaning into spring already. So I thought the colors are so pretty, and they could go from spring on through fall and cooler summer evenings, and even picking up some of the fall colors. And I like them both. I love the one that Jennifer used too. So I might use that exact same yarn for that project. And I don't know, it's hard. It's kind of a toss-up. Now this one is a little bit different technique, which creates an equally interesting but different effect. And it's also, the yarn comes out on the bias at a slant. But the shawl itself, I don't think is asymmetrical. You get the asymmetrical look, but it looked like they are equal on both ends as far as the height, which I prefer. I don't mind if one end's a little wider and the other's more narrow, but not if they're like this with height difference. Me personally, the way I wear them, that really bugs me. So I didn't get a clear picture on that on, I think, Snuffle Bean's channel, but once I can work up a little swatch, and that'll give me a pretty good indication very quickly. The color on this, and then I have a question. Oh, I'll just ask you that now, and I'll tell you the specs. I've only worked with the original mandala once, and that was about 7 years ago. And I don't know if it's just this yarn, particular colorway, or if it is the brand, the yarn itself. But this seems softer to me than it did way back then. Have you bought it recently? Have you noticed it too? So I think I'm going to really enjoy it, and I hope that's the case, and I hope it wears better too. I really hope it does. Because the shawl that I made, which did not get a lot of wear occasionally, but it tends to just look really pretty hanging over a rocking chair in my bedroom. But that got really fuzzy and like not in a good way, not a pretty halo, more like a pilled halo. This is so fitting for up here where we live. Sasquatch. I just thought that was so funny. I love that. In fact, my husband and I went to a Sasquatch festival this last spring, early summer, I think it was. So that might be something I might upload sometime. I have clips of that. And we went to the waterfalls up there in Meadowline Falls. Oh, it was spectacular. Spectacular. So that would be something fun to do, but when I'm able to, spend the time on the... Well, Ruby wasn't having any of it. She said, you get up, you feed. So here we are back to one of my earlier takes. Oh, well, you can probably still see it, huh? Okay. Even though top of my head's cut off, it doesn't mata. Shuck pose. Oh, that looks kind of neat, huh? I'm so happy with it, how it turned out. It's very comfortable to wear. I like the fringe just a little bit longer for this time of year. I mean, you could do it a little bit shorter, but I just wanted it long on my body. So here is my low hip is right here. Here's where the top of my thigh starts, and there's my knee. So this is a nice long one that covers the derriere. I like that. Yeah. Still flowy. You can make that in just about any weight. I'd say, number 3 light DK up to a light chunky Aran weight. It's probably a good range. So you still have some body for it where it's not too light and wimpy, but then it's not too heavy and drags down either. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope you'll hang in here with me. I do hope to see you again real soon because I've missed being here and I've missed being migraine free. Yeah. I hope you are enjoying your day or evening, your crafts and relaxation time and whatever it is you enjoy doing. All right. Until next time, then, I'm going to sign off, say toodaloo, and I hope to see you soon.